Hey guys, it's Shenita with the news, and I'm back with the new video. Just got finished watching that Queen Sheba interview with Martell Holt. But before we get into that, I need you to like, comment, and subscribe. Get kinky with that notification bell. Flick it, lick it, rub it down, and turn that thing on, okay? So let's get into it. Now, I'm not going to talk a lot about the interview because I definitely want you guys to go over there to Queen Sheba and go look at that interview. It is an hour and 51 minutes long, so get you some popcorn, some wine, kick the kids out the room, you know what I'm saying? Maybe even your boo too, you know what I'm saying? This cat is getting on my nerves. Bobo, move, I'm on the mic. Anyway, and so this interview was absolutely amazing. I don't think he really understood what he was setting himself up for. I want to say this about Martell Holt, and this is Shenita. I have my own mind, okay, and I have my own thinking pattern, right? And I take in things from a different perspective, right? And so I want to say this: Martell Holt is what I see is a man fighting himself. You know, what I see is a person who has different sides of themselves, and they only want to acknowledge the side of them that feels better. Okay. I also feel like that is one of his biggest flaws. Instead of just embracing all of yourself, right? Instead of just owning and saying, you know what, I was a terrible husband at one point. I did cheat on Mel, and I did treat her bad, you know, but that doesn't define me, and I'm not going to allow it to define me because I was neglecting the ability to see myself completely. Okay. And so now I'm in therapy and I'm working on the parts of me that I felt I couldn't deal with in my past. All right. And so I think that Martell, he tries to, what I've seen in this interview is he tries to acknowledge and say the things that the women and the people want to hear, right? To appease them so that he can then appear differently, right? Because what he's really focused on is his image. He cares a lot about what everyone thinks about him. That's the only reason why he went on Queen Sheba, honey. Because you done went to a whole millimeter. You're so worried about the image that you're not even aware, right? That you're sitting with a millimeter who whole platform is based on the psychology. You know what I'm saying? And you're sitting with a person who knows how to dissect your mind and make you reveal yourself. And so that's why I say he doesn't even realize who he has sat with and how much he has revealed about himself. Because the thing about this is, guys, you can't hide yourself. There's only a certain amount of words that you can use. There's only a certain amount of ways you can manipulate, you know, words and move them around and try to change the truth. But the thing about it is that we're human. We've been studied. You know what I'm saying? Our behaviors are documented. And so you might as well just be yourself, sit with yourself, deal with the negative parts of yourself, figure out how to really make the change and not push it away and try to, you know, say that you're being transparent like we're stupid. We know that you're not transparent. We know this. We know that you're lying. We know this. We have studied you. We have watched you. We have seen you in these scenes. It's only so much editing that a person can do, honey, to make you appear like a totally different person. And I want to know also, he talked about the editing, you know what I'm saying, and how they made him look differently. I would love for him to explain what scenes did they edit, you know, that he was appearing to be positive, but they made it out to be negative. I would love to know, like, what those scenes are. Okay? The truth is this. Martell Holt is having a really difficult time with not telling lies. And that's just what it is. You know what I'm saying? He's having a really difficult time with accepting himself for who he is in total, not just the good parts. You can't just, listen, we're human. We have negative things about ourselves. We have things, you know, we've lived life and things have left impressions. You know, this thing called a brain and a mind, it records everything around us, everything we see, everything we do. And so you have to understand that you have to sit with that. You have to be honest about, you know, and address the negative things that have affected you, that have left impressions on you, that affect your personality and how you treat others. You got to deal with all that stuff. And you got to understand that it's not always going to feel good. You know, it's not always going to feel good to address everything. And I think that Martell has an issue with being honest about the negative parts of himself. He only wants, you know, everyone to see the good things about him. And to me, that is toxic. You know, it's okay to say, you know, listen, I haven't been so nice. Or, you know, I did treat, you know, my wife like crap. You know, once you acknowledge what you do, then you can implement the change, right? And so I think for Martell, the change is never going to come because he's programmed to only deal with the what he feel is positive about him. That's why he, you know, he talks about the positivity about himself. He has to talk about how he treats other people. You know what I'm saying? But sir, you may have treated those friends of yours great and they might have great things to say about you, but you did not treat Melody Holt great. I'm sorry, Melody Sheree. You didn't. And so you have the ability to not treat people right all the time. You know what I'm saying? And you got to sit with that and you got to deal with that. He couldn't, another thing, right? Okay. So Queen Sheba asked him about therapy and just, she wanted him to talk about himself outside of Mel. He couldn't do it. He couldn't do it. He couldn't even talk about how therapy, you know, has changed him as a person outside of Mel, you know? And so I think his mind is just processed and on overdrive, you know, when it comes to focusing on Mel. All he does is focus his whole existence to what he had with Melody. And so I think that Martell needs to redefine who Martell is. He needs to figure out what his favorite food may be. He needs to sit down and read a book. Do something that's just about you. Redefine you. You have to delete, like I said in another video, you have to understand and accept that you and Melody will never be. It's never going to happen. You've made your mistakes. Okay, you saying that she made mistakes. Whoop-de-doo. She made mistakes too. Okay. Now let's just say they both made mistakes. Who cares at this point, right? It's over.
Excuse me?
And so it's crazy to me that they've been broke up this long and they're still mal. You were on a whole nother show, sir, with Sheree Whitfield. And if I'm Sheree Whitfield, I look stupid right now. I look and feel dumb because you sat in this dang on interview. You ain't acknowledged nothing about Sheree. She didn't acknowledge everything about you on rhoa. I got this new man in my life. He's my babe. Da, 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 da. He makes me smile. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, it can't be true because you don't even claim this shit. Basically, I sum up Sheree to be, a thought pocket. You know what I'm saying? Just somebody you stabbing when you in Atlanta with your penis. You know what I'm saying? And you might buy her a couple of things, but you don't even think about her as marriage material. Like, come on, Martell. You said that you were transparent. You said this was an interview where you could have redeemed yourself. Be honest, because guess what? We already know the truth.
Pick a winner.
And guess what? I think if you would just be honest and own it, it would be such a big relief for you. You could stop reliving something that isn't even in your reality anymore. My friend, Martell, okay? Because I really do. I want to say this, and I know that this isn't a popular opinion, but I'm Shenita. I always come from a place of love if I can find some love to give you. All right. Some people, I'm going to be honest, some people you just can't. You cannot find anything. Okay. Nice to say. My grandfather, before he died, he told me to always come from a loving place because we're all human, right? We're all here. We're all affected by this experience. And I believe that even though the millimeters are holding meltdown, that they would like to see, Martell just own it. I just think that's what people want at this point. People just want to see Martell own it. Just own it. I think that if he had owned it seasons ago, we wouldn't even still be here asking these same questions. And when it comes to Arionne, so let me speak about this. When it comes to Arionne Carey, she looks really stupid in my opinion, because you talked about taking Martell from Melody Holt, but you don't even have him. And I'm not talking about, you really don't have the man. He's not putting a ring on your finger. He's not talking about marrying you. He doesn't acknowledge you as anything more than a baby mother. But let me just, I don't even want to go there. Okay, Shenita, let's go back to Martell. When it comes to Arionne and Martell, I think where Martell dropped the ball a long time ago was protecting Mel as his child's mother and as his children, because they have 4 children together. So he never protected her, had her back. He has some say so. He has some power in that department that, I guess he doesn't want to flex. I don't know what that is. But he should have been nipped the disrespect in the bud. When it came to Miss Wanda disrespecting Mel's kids and Mel, he stood up to Miss Wanda. And I don't understand why he does not have that same energy for Arionne. It just makes me feel like he has way more respect and he likes her more. You know what I'm saying? And I think it's because he can feel sorry for her. I'm a very strong person. It's hard for people. I'm going to be honest. It's hard for people to feel sorry for me. Sometimes I feel like I'm that strong friend and like no one checks on me. Right. And I feel like Mel is a very strong woman. Right. And so I think that it's hard for him to have sympathy for her because she is a strong person. And not only that, I don't think that he feels and that she deserves any like empathy or sympathy. I mean, that's what I get from it, maybe because, she doesn't cry a lot, but I'm gonna be honest, Mel cried a lot on this show and I still didn't see him have like any sympathy. So I really just think that, yeah, the seasons are going past, but nothing's really changing when it comes to Martell Holt. Martell Holt has to get into therapy, release the uncomfortableness, release the things that make him angry. Okay, I know Mel, went to Destin and she kind of brought up that he was bullied and teased. That types of stuff does create anger. And because I was teased, as a kid. But see, I was, I got bullied one time and I became the person who bullied the bullies. You know what I'm saying? It was only so many times. You know what I'm saying? That you was gonna be snatching my Capri Sun. So it became to the point where I actually had to sit down in therapy for that. So it's nothing wrong. We go through life and it is what it is, right? And so back to what I was saying about my feelings about Martell. I do think that generally deep in there, he is a very nice person, or he might just be great at appearing to be. But I do feel in some ways that we get a kind Martell. Sometimes we can get, I think that's where the 10 dozen roses came from. It's that part of him that you can rationalize with at times or talk to sometimes. And I think that Martell has to create balance in his life. And he also has to live his life inside of the reality that's happening right now. A lot of people are walking around being versions of themselves that they aren't even aware of, and they don't even want to address it, right? Sometimes people walk around thinking that they're a certain way, and they don't want to accept when people are telling them the truth because they're so stuck on the image they've created inside of their head to feel comfortable with themselves. And I feel like, Martell Holt could be a nice person. I feel like Martell Holt could get deep treatment and therapy, you know what I'm saying, and deal with what makes him angry and deal with pressure and deal with the demons, you know what I'm saying, because we all got them. But I just feel like if he dealt with it, he could be the person that he thinks he actually is. Because I think that it is inside of him. All right. I think that the monster that we see at times, and he wants to tiptoe around those actions. Like you did what you did at your child's birthday party. Like, you don't think that was wrong? You don't think that your kids are gonna remember that? You don't think that when they see this episode of you zapping out on a grandmother, you know what I'm saying? Like, you don't think that that looks bad? Have you apologized for that? You know what I'm saying? It just is. It's a very thin line when it comes to Martell. I want to at times say, okay, guys, we're being really hard on Martell. But honestly, he gives us the content. He creates these conversations when he shows up the way he does. And so I want to say this. Queen Sheba did an excellent job. The interview is amazing. Okay, make sure you guys go check her out. Also, how do you guys feel about the Queen Sheba interview? If you did go and check that thing out, how do you feel about her questions? How do you feel about what she got into? Also, how do you feel about Martell Holt? Do you think that therapy is working? Do you see the change? Do you think that it's all smoke and mirrors? Do you think he's just lying? Do you think he just went over there to Queen Sheba to somehow save himself, not realizing he had sat with the wrong person to do that? Because, she made him see himself a lot. And so I just want to say, because I'm always going to end positive, sometimes I make content and I'm like, damn, am I too hard? I don't really want to be mean, because I'm drinking my water and I'm meditating, and I don't want to really create content that is too harsh or too negative, because then that does affect me. Y'all see how Wendy Williams ended up, baby. I ain't trying to have none of that. But anyway, Martell, I'm gonna need you to get it together. I'm gonna need you to become the man that you say you can be. I'm gonna need you to change your thinking processes. We all go through shit, and that's granted, right? But we can't excuse the behaviors that we see continuously show up while you throw in our faces that you're in therapy. You're making a mockery of it, because you don't know what people may be. You have a platform, and if you're saying that you're in therapy, you need to really be in there, because you never know who's looking up to you or who you're influencing about therapy. And so you don't know how that may work out. Somebody, you may actually be inspiring somebody to seek help. Okay. And you may be inspiring somebody not to go get it because they don't see the change happening in you. And so be real, be transparent, be what you say you are, work on yourself, find your happiness. All right. So that your kids and your baby mamas can have great co-parenting situations, okay, so that your kids can look up to you. I need y'all to like, comment, and subscribe, okay? I'm going to meditate after this thing. I just wanted to speak on it. I'm about to put out another video. I'm back. I know I'm that girl, but sometimes we can get up in our heads and we can talk ourselves out of things that we know that we were made for. And so I am in therapy, by the way. Therapy is working because I'm working it. And so I'm going to be putting out more videos. I always want my videos to be balanced. And so, like I said, I need y'all to like, comment, and subscribe. Support your girl. Okay. Sending love to Queen Sheba, Martell. All right. And I will see y'all in the next video. Bye.